into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, Pakistan cricket may be finally tasting success on the cricket field with their men's team registering a historic win over Australia. But the turmoil off the pitch continues. The ICC have informed PCB of India's refusal to travel to Pakistan for the ICC Champions Trophy next year. What alternate plans does the PCB have? All the developments from this story coming your way. On other news, Messi's Inter Miami have crashed out of the MLS Cup. Will the organisers and broadcasters take a severe hit as all the promotions and branding was centred around Messi, who has been responsible for the tournament raking in the numbers and the money? And a tennis commentator at the WTA finals was fired after he body shamed one of the athletes who happened to be a Wimbledon champion, which also ended up being a derogatory remark on her opponent as well. What happened there, and is it only largely seen in women's sports? All of that heading your way. But first, a look at the headlines. Starting with cricket, South Africa bounced back in the second T20 international against India to level the three-match series 1-1. In a low-scoring affair, the Proteas beat India by 3 wickets. Put into bat first, India crawled their way to 124. In response, South Africa were troubled by Varun Chakravarti, who picked a fifer. But Tristan Stubbs held on, his 47 in fact helping his side chase down the target. Continuing with cricket, Pakistan registered a historic ODI series victory over Australia in Australia. This after 22 years, the visitors won the final match by 8 wickets to seal the series 2-1. In the third ODI, Pakistani pacers led by Shaheen Shah Afridi and Naseem Shah picked up 3 wickets apiece to bowl Australia out for 140. Captain Mohammad Rizwan, in fact, carried his bat to seal the game in response. Moving to football, Manchester United continued their unbeaten run under interim manager Ruud van Nistelrooy. The Red Devils secured a 3-0 victory over Leicester City. Bruno Fernandes and Alejandro Garnacho scored a goal each and were assisted by an own goal from Leicester. Under Nistelrooy, United has won 3 out of their 4 matches and have drawn 1. AS Roma has sacked manager Ivan Juric following their side's 2-3 home defeat against Bologna. Juric was sacked after being in charge for just 12 matches. Roma are searching for their 3rd manager this season. Reports suggest former Manchester City manager Roberto Mancini is the frontrunner to bag this role. And over in tennis, Jannik Sinner made a winning start to ATP World Tour Finals. The world number 1 beat Alex de Minaur 6-3, 6-4 in straight sets. In another match, Taylor Fritz comfortably won his match against an angry Daniil Medvedev, also in straight sets. Medvedev, in fact, lost his cool during the match, broke his racket and was penalized with 1 point. Pakistan cricket is experiencing contrasting fortunes. So far, just about everything was in flux, whether it was their results on the field or what was happening outside of it. But Pakistan cricket was in fact in shambles. Now, while results on the field seem to be looking up, the chaos outside continues. The drama engulfing the Champions Trophy doesn't seem to die down. The latest, of course, India has officially tendered in its refusal to travel to Pakistan for the tournament. Now, the schedule was cleared a while ago. February and March 2025 is when it was set to take place, the host Pakistan. Let's be honest, any ICC event runs a risk of India not partaking in it when this is the scenario. The host is Pakistan, and the latest now isn't something that none of us saw coming. And you can trust to know that this is one such event that will see many more developments as and when we go here on. Now, we saw that with the Asia Cup 2 last year. India refused to travel to Pakistan, and so India's matches were held outside Pakistan in Sri Lanka. It was a hybrid model setup where more than one host conducts an event. Of course, Pakistan wouldn't want that repeating. Asia Cup was a smaller affair with fewer teams, and so maybe every party involved amicably agreed to this setup to get the tournament underway. But we're talking about an ICC event here. It involves top 8 countries in the world. In fact, Champions Trophy is making a comeback after 8 years and Pakistan wants to get it right in a manner that any ICC event should. One host, one country and all of the matches in that country. ICC some days ago, in fact, seems to have officially communicated to PCB, the Pakistan Cricket Board, of India's reluctance to travel to Pakistan and play their matches there. The Pakistan may eventually have to climb down to a solution that India is okay with. They clearly do not want to settle without a fight, especially in getting what they can and try to get. In fact, PCB chief Mohsin Naqvi is supposedly said to have asked for an explanation from his Indian counterparts as to their refusal. Of course, they've cited security concerns as they always have, and PCB have sought to take the matter to the highest authorities. We are, of course, aware relations between India and Pakistan have been sour for decades now. They have not seen eye to eye on many matters, and travelling to Pakistan has definitely been one of those. In fact, ICC seems to be stuck in the middle of all of this. They have been forced to cancel a build-up event to the Champions Trophy that was scheduled to take place in Lahore today to mark the 100-day countdown to the mega event. This, of course, owing to all the uncertainty that still looms over the whole tournament, and most importantly, India's participation, which hangs in the balance now. The BCCI awaits a proper alternate plan that they can possibly consider. Earlier, there were reports of Pakistan offering the BCCI a solution to negate the travel and security concerns. The PCB had verbally suggested to its Indian counterparts to keep Delhi or Chandigarh or Mohali as their base and travel to Lahore for their matches using chartered flights, thus avoiding the whole issue of staying in Pakistan for days there, training, and of course, being in that country through the entire tournament, non-stop. Of course, no written statements or official communications were made regarding this possible solution. In fact, the latest refusal from India has been met with indignation and anger. Former Pakistan cricketer Rashid Latif has been quick to retort.
ICC only exists because there is Pakistan and India. If the government of Pakistan also says like India that we won't play, then the ICC will be of no use as no one will watch the match. India has to make solid ground. If India doesn't come this time, Pakistan will take a big step by not participating in the tournament.
Of course, the Pakistan former cricketer clearly insinuating that the ICC, now with also BCCI former secretary Jay Shah set to take charge at the end of the year, has to act at the behest of India and Pakistan, because these two subcontinent sides playing each other rake in all the revenues. India has proposed to have their matches in Dubai instead, not too far away from Pakistan. Pakistan do not want this solution. But how long will this stalemate really last? Let's wait and see. Now, Lionel Messi played his last match for Inter Miami this year, that is. Inter Miami's lost to Atlanta United in the Major League Soccer or the MLS Cup playoff match was the last of Messi in America this season. Inter Miami's early exit, not something many expected from the postseason playoffs, because the playoffs were meant to be Lionel Messi and Inter Miami's to seal. All the branding, the promotion and every advertisement had the Argentine footballer front and center. Fans and experts predicted Inter Miami to square off an already historic season with yet another silverware in the form of the MLS Cup. So clearly, this is a huge setback for many, including the MLS organizers. Now, what happened in the game? Lower-ranked Atlanta beat Miami 3-2 to enter the semi-finals of the Eastern Conference. The same Atlanta failed to secure a direct qualification for the playoffs. They struggled to secure their spot through a wild card after finishing 9th in the league. And in the first round, they were facing the Eastern Conference winners and a star-studded Inter Miami. So Atlanta's victory was the biggest upset in the first round. And it wasn't just a one-off win that helped Atlanta secure this semi-final berth. The 3-round format first saw Inter Miami winning the match last month. Atlanta, of course, leveled it after winning the second match and then sealed their qualification after outplaying Inter Miami in the third. And while everyone loves an underdog story, the fairy tale rise of a lower-ranked side Not sure if the MLS Cup organizers are too happy with this result. Broadcasters and organizers who wanted to make the most of Messi's presence, because the MLS Cup playoffs was a chance for them to mint more money. The postseason tournament was expected to bring in more fans to the stadium and more viewers to tune in online as well. Because ever since Lionel Messi's arrival, the league has seen a massive boost in its viewership. The Inter Miami skipper has been responsible for a 14% hike in stadium attendance compared to 2022. That's a 5% growth since last year when Messi joined the league. A record 11.45 million people attended the league matches at the stadium, and the fuel has been Lionel Messi. More than 50,000 people have attended matches that have featured the superstar. And the record attendance for the MLS season came for a Messi match. More than 72,000 people attended Inter Miami's game against Sporting Kansas City. And it wasn't just this in-stadium viewership. More fans bought season passes to watch Messi play. Messi's debut for Inter Miami last year drew in more than 100,000 new subscribers, which was the largest single-day spike for the streaming service. By the end of the 2023 season, more than 2 million subscribers joined in just to watch Messi. So unsurprisingly, before the Cup playoffs started, Messi was everywhere, on billboards to social media promos and television ads. The Messi magic was the only talking point before the tournament. MLS even aired Inter Miami's first playoff game in Times Square, and why not? The former Barcelona star was slowly making football cool in America. So with Messi out, will the fans tune in with just as much fervor to watch the remaining playoff matches? Well, the die-hard fans of the respective clubs may still do. Some of the matches, like the Hudson River Derby between New York City FC and New York Red Bulls, will be appealing to the regular footy fans. The Messi fan base, though, would swing away, which is quite a large number, clearly highlighting what will follow when Messi leaves MLS, because this is just a preview of what could come. Messi's contract expires next year, and it's still not sure if the Argentine captain will extend his contract.
I actually don't know how limited Messi's time in this league is. There is a question of time passing, but I would not dare to say that it is so short. If you look at the context in which this began, it seems to me that the progress of the club is important.
Even if Messi does do it, how long will that contract be? Messi is 37 and he has often opened up about his time on the football field being numbered. So can the league really rely completely on just Messi for its survival and its growth? Like Martino pointed out, the progress of the club is important. Football is one sport where a club might thrive because of a player, but it cannot wholly rely on just that footballer for its sustainability. Messi left Barcelona. The club is still competing at the highest level. Cristiano Ronaldo left Manchester United, Real Madrid. Both clubs still went on to win leagues and titles in Europe. So if the only business idea for MLS is Messi, then it is bound to be short-lived. A wake-up call then to the organizers on what must be done to build onto the platform after Messi leaves. Because Messi can be a catalyst to build onto something big, but only if MLS has future plans on how to capitalize from this. The first WTA finals in Saudi Arabia concluded with world number 3 Coco Gauff lifting the women's tennis season-ending title. And while 20-year-old Gauff scripted history by becoming the youngest to win the title since Maria Sharapova did 20 years ago, and that's what people should be talking about. But what's taking center stage, of course, is not the tennis action. It started with the hosting rights of Saudi Arabia being questioned, and the latest, of course, to hit the headlines was a 2-time Grand Slam winner being body-shamed on air by a commentator. Prominent tennis journalist Jon Wertheim mocked Wimbledon winner Barbora Krejcikova during her semi-final against Qin Wen Zhang. Wertheim made a comment about Krejcikova's forehead. The remark left many frustrated, calling Wertheim unprofessional. fact, Krejcikova too launched a scathing attack on Wertheim, even claiming that it isn't the first time she has encountered such comments. What Krejcikova is pointing out is that this is a recurring issue in women's sports. Rather than talking about an athlete's performance, a journalist wants to identify the champion, comment on the champion by her looks, the way she looks, her forehead in this instance. Quite a disgraceful statement to make there. This isn't any tennis player. Krejcikova is a recognized name. She has had a remarkable year, winning the Wimbledon title and reaching the semi-finals of the WTA season ender. And she currently is ranked 10th in the world. Wertheim may have been unaware that he was on air, as he claims, but if that is in fact his personal opinion, it points out to how easy it is for many voices to overlook the accolades of major sports athletes and comment on their physical appearances and their outfits instead. The broadcaster was quick to respond and removed Wertheim from their panel. The matter didn't end there. Andy Roddick, who does a podcast with Wertheim, in fact, actually asked the journalist to apologize on air for his comments.
Really wish we were talking about tennis, but I appreciate it you put it nicely. I'm full of regret, remorse, and an apology. I made a very uncharitable remark, meant as self-deprecation, but it involved the photo of another player. It was Barbora Krejcikova.
Now, while Wertheim tried his best to salvage the situation by apologizing on a public platform, what's more concerning, though, about Wertheim's comments is the fact that he not only mocked Krejcikova, but his exact statement also indirectly targeted the other semi-finalist Chin Woon Zhang, which is quite shameful given Wertheim is a recognized voice in the tennis fraternity. If he can be so ignorant and condescending when talking about a player despite her stature, how can we expect any better from the rest? Because these issues are rooted in other sports too. 18-time LPGA Tour winner Lydia Ko has had her share of battles in her professional career. The pro golfer once spoke about her struggles with fat shaming. Julie Inkster, a 7-time major winner and a commentator, remarked, "Looks like she needs to go to the buffet counter a little bit." This was heavily objected to by fans, but Inkster defended her comment by saying it was just a joke. But given the statement was more made on a public platform, it only got more people to comment. This sort of body shaming is pretty rampant in all levels of competitive sport. 2 male sports broadcasters were in fact fired after they were caught body shaming female high school basketball players on a local radio station. Jim Carter and Steve Shaw criticized players' weights during a high school girls' junior tournament on air, with one saying that they are 2 girls out there extremely overweight. And it is these negative statements that fan public perceptions to form public opinions. In 2023, during the Australian Open coverage, Jelena Dokic, who was conducting post-match interviews, was body shamed for her appearance. And it did not take much for fans to get onto the troll wagon too. The fact that Dokic has opened up about fighting mental health issues, of course, did not help. But that is how we've seen it everywhere. Trolls are waiting to roast athletes and all they need is a line, which is why it becomes all the more critical that prominent voices like Wertheim do not normalize such comments. All it does is make certain trolls believe it is okay to make derogatory remarks that take away from an athlete's skills and their performance, more so when it is about women sports persons. Time for last serve. 300 surfers over the age of 50 proved age is no barrier. Nearly 100 people rode a wave at the same time in the hope of breaking a record. This was in Brazil. Take a look. That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care.